Right. So in the last session, we have discussed about what are the different methods do we use in integration. Especially, we have different integrations. Generally, we do we use different APIs for integration. It can be RESTful API, Web API, SOAP API.
Right. Mhm.
Followed by this, we have discussed even about the methods like get method, put method, patch, delete, update, all that.
Right.
From an analyst point of view, as in when we discussed earlier, right? So we need to understand the integration process followed by the approaches of integration. But in regard to that, being an analyst profile, wherein we must be knowing about what are the different strategies that we use. So the one which I'm going to explain you in today's session about the healthcare integration. As an example, I'm taking healthcare integration. Because
Okay.
it can be of any domain, right? So it is nothing to do with any specific domain, right? Either it can be healthcare, it can be PNC insurance, like property and casualty insurance, of it can be of any other domains. Understanding over the integration process, understanding about integration approaches are essentially required. In the process
Mm-hmm.
of understanding, we are discussing about healthcare integration strategies. Normally, these healthcare integration strategies, as an analyst, normally this we can consider and we can divide into three different parts. The first one about the individual level. Please make a note, madam.
Sure, sir.
Healthcare integration, as an example of healthcare I've taken. Okay. So,
Mm-hmm.
first, integration analyst roles and responsibilities remains intact. But it doesn't it is nothing to do with any domain as specific, but we must be taken some domain to explain. So
Right. Mhm.
here I have taken healthcare as an example, as an integration analyst, as an integration analyst, approach and implement, approach and implement healthcare strategies, approach and implement healthcare strategies are as follows. Are as follows.
Mhm.
First, on individual level. Second, we call it a system level. System level organizational. System level
Right.
organizational. Third, system level technical. Third, system level technical. So these are the three different levels do we have when we are working on the integration part. The first one is individual level. Second, system level organizational. Third, system level technical.
Mhm.
Now, individual level right now. It focus more on, it focuses more on consumer, consumer,
Mhm.
consumer, followed by usability, usability. Once integration, usability, once integration done, excuse me, by understanding the technical acceptance, by understanding the technical acceptance, also considering the cost, etc. Also considering the cost, etc. This is where we call it as individual level, right? So when we are implementing the integration strategies, especially on the healthcare, as an example, we have taken from an individual level, right? So in individual level, how and what way this can be useful. This will be useful to the individuals who are who to whom we are addressing for, right? So this is where generally we see from an individual perspective, individual level, we need to see the usability because do the integration that we do. So it must be usable. It must be in a usable condition. That must be the approach. Example, if I refer you the example here, let's say we are, let's say we want to book some flight tickets to somewhere, right? So for some vacation. So we are going to a travel ticketing portal wherein we are selecting the dates of travel, right? So choosing the flights that are available, right? So including seats, and we can book the tickets, right? So how is this done? So this is from an individual level, user level, individual nothing but a user level. I mean to say that
Mhm.
is providing a conveniency as well as the usability for a customer to book the tickets online, wherein by creating some APIs, all that stuff, right? So you need to develop an API. Or else, let's say we are using different social media websites, right? Social media good apps we are using, network we are using. Social media networks we are using now and then a single point of login is about Gmail. Okay, you can use Gmail account and you can use all these, right? So how this can be accepted? This can be accepted in individual level by creating an API for that. So individual level is the one area wherein we have to see. This is point number one. Point
Mhm.
system level organization, right now.
Mhm.
System level organization. In here, we need to consider. Here we need to consider. We need to consider the cost saving strategy. Cost saving strategy by considering the integration of services. By integration of services, followed by
Yes, sir.
followed by the guidelines. Followed by the guidelines that are to be followed. Followed by the guidelines that are to be followed. Followed by the guidelines that are to be followed. Yeah, that are to be followed.
Okay.
Next, in the next paragraph, you can write down under system level organization. Uh, under system level organization, need to consider and make sure, need to consider and make sure regulatory standards, regulatory standards, policies and procedures, regulatory standards, policies and procedures, followed by stakeholder involvement, 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 stakeholder invol stakeholder involvement are the highest priorities. Are the highest priorities. Comma continuation. In process of implementing these strategies, in process of implementing these strategies, need to consider assumptions, dependencies, and constraints. Need to consider assumptions, dependencies, and constraints. Assumptions, dependencies, and constraints. Yeah. Third one, system level technical. When we implement from the technical side, right? So as integration, we are doing technical. So because the one which we discussed about organizational level, system level organization focusing on the kind of cost which is involved in doing it. At the same time, we should also consider the kind of rules and regulations, policies, procedures, regulatory standards, right? So
Right.
we must see whether what are the assumptions, dependencies, constraints do we have. Everything that we see from the organizational level, or I can say functional perspective, functional side. Right about system level, technical side, right? Make sure the platform must be independent. Make sure the platform must be independent. Followed by followed by followed by data integration and interchange, followed by data integration and interchange. When we implement technically 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 uh, technically, okay, comma, but lack of standardization, and data security concerns are data security concerns uh, can be the security concerns can be the challenges, which must address on priority basis, on the priority basis. So these are the healthcare integration strategies as an example of an healthcare, because why data, all these things we have taken into consideration, because in healthcare data is so sensitive and important. I mean to say the patient's data, right? So that's the reason why when there is any data transformation, they do with this data we transform through different EDI files, EDI is nothing
Right.
but data in
Mhm.
right? So through EDI files, the data will be transmitted from one system to another system. So that's where generally EDI integrations we do, you know that, right? So
Mhm.
either it can be of different files, either it can be 834, it can be 835, it can be 270, it can be 271. Different EDI files that are being integrated. So data security can also be a constraint which has to be addressed on high level priority order. These are the different strategies that we follow when we are implementing this in healthcare. Understood, right?
Right, sir. Yeah.
So these are the different levels. One is on the individual level that we need to see. Next about the system level from the organizational perspective. Because implementation from the organization perspective, system level, followed by the technical level, right? So these are the strategies that we do when we are implementing it. Next, we
Mhm.
must be about how these EDIs, right? So EDI integration approach solutions that we do. Okay, this part, so that I'm going to discuss in tomorrow's session. Okay, madam.
Okay, sir. Yeah. Got it.